Good morning, everyone. Sorry we're a little bit late today. I was totally off in the daylight savings time. Honest mistake on my end. I'm in Europe right now, and it was not daylight savings time over here. So let's go ahead and get caught up. Again, this is going to be a really calm start to the morning for me. That's just a classic Monday for you. DRAD and NNVC were not necessarily the elite gappers I was looking at. These were the elite gappers from yesterday, but they were ahead on my watch list anyway. So let's run the scanner, figure out what we're going to be watching. It's going to be kind of an interesting mix-up for today. So again, I apologize for the confusion. So just discount that for now. I'm just going to go ahead and so usually we will run the gap and go scanner, but today we are just going to be running the aftermarket open scanner. Now I have no limit orders open or anything like that. I never do. Let me just go here and detach the screen. SPEX and AIM. Thanks, Keith, for calling that out. And Shark, Laramie. I've never actually made this mistake before, but it happens. I guess this is a serious case of the Mondays. So lead gappers, SPEX, AIM, COCP, ENZ, NNVC are definitely the top ones I'm going to be looking at. SPEX, let's go ahead and look at this one. Boom, nice lead gapper. This is actually a classic gap and go setup that we're typically looking for. This is the second green day on SPEX, so just keep that in mind. If anyone's watching this on replay, I just want to quickly go say this is Monday, the 9th of March. So just a little recap there. Okay, SPEX gapping down, pull back here quickly. I'm going to be really calm on this one. Obviously, I missed the open, so just kind of taking things one step at a time. 145% gap up. That's quite an aggressive gap up. Had a nice little bull flag right here, and then instantly that 1 minute candle was a huge ripper. So right now we're seeing some resistance at 5. Looks like it's about to break out at 5. We got, let's see what kind of catalyst we have on this one. The markets are all down, -7%, -6%. This is, I think, some of the biggest gap downs we've had, some of the biggest moves. SPX is up on specifically macro news, so just keep that in mind. What a hectic start to the day, or for the trading day for me, guys. I apologize. That was an honest mistake here. I'm just going to take things a little bit slower today, just because of that mistake. So I'm going to go ahead, update our live stream. I honestly cannot believe that just happened. So we were breaking here out of $5. Really nice. I'm going to be looking to trade with roughly $1,000 to $1,500 position sizes, really depending on the setup. If I feel fairly aggressive on a setup, I'm going to be looking for more like $1,500. It looks like SPEX was just halted. Really nice move here. Let me know if anyone got into that one. I think Shark and Keith, you guys were probably on it like no tomorrow. Still our lead gapper, SPEX, AIM, COCP, and NVC. Why is the market open now? I'm getting a lot of those questions. It's daylight savings time, just switched over in the USA. So right now, I'm only 5 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time, and you guys will have to figure out where you are relative time zone wise. Market suspended. Yeah, SPEX looks like it's halted. In at $4. Really nice move, ChemDog. Super solid. Oh, Emmanuel, good to see you. Everything halted. This is looking a little weird. I know that CMD I think freezes when it goes down below 6%. This is actually, this is very weird. Hold on, I'm just checking out here. Let's see what we can dig up. Hold market halted. Yep, so stock trading will be halted if the whole market falls too much. This is really interesting. I actually have not day traded through a whole market halt before. Well, it's good that we get to do it on the live stream. Today, unfortunately, today was the most hectic live stream I have ever started. Again, I apologize for that. This is really interesting. So level 1 breach, a 7% decline on the S&P 500 from a prior day close will trigger a so-called level 1 breach. All trading is halted for 15 minutes. Holy moly, that is crazy. There's a level 2 halt. Next threshold is a 13% decline. So if it declines 7%, that's a 15-minute halt. So that's why it was halted. You can see the S&P 500 right here, 7%. That's why it was halted. The next threshold is at 13%. That's again a 15-minute halt. And then there's a level 3, 20% drop. That's another. The halt is for the remainder of the day if the markets drop 20%. That's insane. Okay, really, really good to know. I'm on the NASDAQ.com website getting that information. Chemdonk, that's exactly what it's like. It's when someone poops in the pool and everyone has to get out. Okay, so everything was halted at 34. There's so many time zones going on right now. My mind's a little bit blown. I do have on down here the US time zone. So this is the one I'm looking at. But basically at 9:34 the markets were halted. So at 9:49 they're going to be unhalted. Today might be a good day just to not do any trades for me personally. We'll see what happens. If I see a good setup, I'll trade it regardless. But wow, we have never have seen that on these streams before. So that's really, really crazy. Thanks for pointing that out, Emmanuel, in the beginning. All right. Well, I guess this is good. I can get my bearings together. SPEX and AIM and COCP, NNVC, ENZ, these are all tickers, guys, that we've seen in the past. So there is no necessarily new lead gapper that I'm going to be watching today. I think I'm going to be watching SPEX, and honestly, I'm just going to be watching the markets. This is just going to be an overall interesting day. Yeah, so drinking the coffee. TOS is probably going to be glitchy too. I just had an alert randomly go off. That's extremely glitchy from TOS. Good to see all you guys back in here though. The trading crew is hard at work. Look at the Dow. Oh my God. Yeah, Dow Jones Industrial Average down 7%. Bitcoin down 15%. So much for the reverse correlation that I keep hearing. Quickly go to the indexes. So this is the Dow Jones Industrial Average here, down at 240. That's a huge dip with 239. Based on the market regulations, the following circuit breaker rules will apply for today. If met, based on SPX prices, level 1, 7% decline, 15-minute hold. Level 2, 13% decline, and then level 3, like we said, suspended for the rest of the day at 2%. I'm just still having alerts going off right now. No, I think the markets are going to be closed for another 9 minutes or so based on that first level 15-minute halt. This was absolutely insane. Let's quickly actually check out some of these other markets. S&P, I should say indexes, not markets. TOS is having a little bit of lag speed here. Bros tuning in. Yeah, this is absolutely insane. I've always heard about the markets getting halted, but I've actually never day traded through one. So this is the first time for me watching it live, which is really, really entertaining. Also kind of terrifying, but you know, long-term positions are fine. That's what long-term positions are supposed to do. They just go through through these ups and downs. Luckily, I have no immediate positions, day trade positions open. But honestly, SPEX, I think that thing could still pop higher. I don't know what's going to happen when the markets overall get unhalted. I think it's just going to be, it's going to be dipped by Central probably. But hey, I think everyone's going to be looking at that 13% decline. So that's one real big thing to consider. So let's think for a second, if we had a 13% decline, where would that halt go off? Where would that be triggered? So let me quickly go here. So we open roughly here, and you can see this is the, wait, we're on the S&P. We had a gap down, of course. So we went ahead and closed roughly here. It's a bit hard to point out. Yeah, okay, so this is roughly 7%, not super accurate, but here we go. So if we go down to 13%, and this is probably not the most elegant way to do it. 13% would put us roughly at 2,585. So if we hit 2,585, there's going to be another 15-minute halt. And if we go down 20%, well, that's closer to 2,400. So 2,000, if we break 2,400, go into the 2,380 territory, the market will be frozen for the rest of the trading day. ION. You mean INO? You know what, Satoshi? I hope you can get out of that quickly. That happened to me once with with a margin account. Sometimes it's really easy, especially when you have auto send selected. You can double click or something like that, and all of a sudden you try to close a position or buy a position, and you're short the position. So I think it's a mix of all the Corona news finally like really kind of compiling, and then the oil. I was just listening to on the news a little bit where there's some disagreements at OPEC. I couldn't really summarize it right now. Yeah, oil crashes by most since 1991 as Saudi Arabia launches price war. So basically they're dumping oil onto the market. Oil shares tumble. Well, I guess out of all days, today's kind of an interesting day not to have our lead gappers in check because There seems to be other things to kind of just pay attention to. Mr. Bear, this is kind of your day, huh? So we got 4 more minutes till the market opens. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when an overall halt happens. With SPEX, to be honest, guys, I'd be extra cautious today because I think a lot of traders are going to be extra cautious, which means breakouts might be extra sketchy. Not to mention, SPEX is on its second big green day. Really big breakout though, absolutely amazing. Look at us with this alert all the way down here. It's super irrelevant at this point. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. We have big support here at $4. That's where we pulled back to this morning. 521, some resistance. $6, some big resistance. $7 roughly. Just keep an eye out for those kind of whole numbers. It seems to be the trend with SPEX. Could probably get unhalted and run maybe to $6. So the market's going to get unhalted in about 2 minutes here. What's up, Tommy? Yeah, this really is crazy. You know, I think it's a bit virus related, but I would really check out the oil news. It's pretty big issue. Apparently, this is the biggest oil crash since 1991. It's a lot to take in. I think the markets they have a lot. I mean, they're near all-time highs. Big epidemic with the virus outbreak worldwide, and then now this oil crisis. There's just a lot going on. Boy, Claus, I hope you can capitalize on a day like today. Honestly, a day like today is nice when you end it not in the red. So I think that's going to be not really my focus, but if I don't make any trades today, I'm totally fine with that. And there's just some days you just have to understand that it might just be better not trading. Because when we had those huge days in the market on Thursday and Friday last week, or the week before last week, it was so hectic. It was so hard to do some proper day trading because the whole markets were just out of sync. Yeah, there's just and the Fed is basically all out of ammo. I mean, they've already lowered interest rates. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how much more they could do. So when the whole entire markets, the U.S. markets, gets unhalted, I'm going to be watching SPEX. I'm going to see what happens with it. I kind of also want to be watching the S&P 500. So I'm going to go ahead and okay, the markets are unhalted, guys. Here we go. SPEX is pulling back. I have now SPX as well on a different screen, so I'm just going to be watching this one. SPEX pulling back heavy. I think SPEX might have just been halted. TOS is having some huge lag issues. Another reason not to potentially trade here. This was one of the biggest dips I've ever seen after an unhalt with SPEX. Yeah, boy, Klaus, that's a really, really good point. My charts are all over the place. It's Really, really tough to trade this. So I have the SPX up on another chart just right here. I'm just going to show you guys. Just kind of looking at this, just watching it. This is a 1 minute candle. So you can see we had a big gap down. So just kind of watch this one, see how it goes. Ooh, Heiko, this is a really rough day to take on some of your first trades. I'm not going to lie. Be really careful today. I'm not entirely sure why SPEX was not halted. This dip was absolutely wicked. TOS is having some huge issues. I probably won't be trading till another 9 minutes or so. This is just insane. Not just is TOS just basically frozen, the markets are basically in free fall as well. I don't see a reason to just randomly get aggressive on anything. ENZ halted on the way up. Thanks for that shout out, Keith. Huge bounce on SPEX, 3.5, former breakout area. Just an absolutely ridiculous bounce. 30%, 36% bounce. It's still going up. AIM up 66%. Having a nice little pullback here. AIM could be actually a red to green move. Looks really interesting. I don't like that 3.6 to $4 major resistance area. Not to mention AIM has been a big runner for several days now. So it could be extremely overextended. I'd be a little bit more careful maybe with AIM. I could be totally wrong, but to me, I just see a little bit more risk in AIM, especially trading potential breakouts, especially when the markets are as crazy as it is today and TOS is barely working. So there's many reasons why I would be a little bit more cautious in general and on AIM specifically. SPEX is still the lead gapper on the day. I don't know. I honestly, buying SPEX near big support, like 3.5, like we had a big dip here, maybe $3. 2.5 is always some of my favorite support areas. I don't think I would be trading breakouts today. I just don't. Because let's say you try to buy this breakout at $5, the markets get halted, they get unhalted, and all of a sudden you're down. What drop was this? This 37%? That is not the kind of trading I want to be doing. That's why today, I would really be cautious. SPX bouncing a little bit. Caught in, I was so worried, but got in. Nice, Lucifer. Nice solid trade. I'm gonna go ahead and close the SPX chart just because I feel like my computer's not fast enough for that. Oh, this is really good fun. I'm just happy that we're able to kind of all do this together here on the stream. This is really interesting. I feel like if I was trading by myself right now in a room, I would be confused if this was even a reality. I'd be like, what is going on? Heiko, which ticker did you trade? That's actually not that bad of a price. SPEX at 411. Depends when you got in, I guess. Really nice bounce here off of $4. So yeah, guys, just watch out, especially with that oil OPEC news. I think that news is just really kind of going to start sinking in on people. I think it's just the beginning. Talk about INO, Alex. Time. Oh, okay, okay. INO hit a high of what, 20 something pre-market? It was absolutely ridiculous. I was really, really impressed. Yeah, it hit a high of exactly 20 pre-market, kind of forming a little bit of a bear flag pattern here. I'd definitely be careful. Check out the daily chart on this. We've had just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big days of run up. I'd be careful. You know, this thing could go down just as easy as it went up. Especially when something's traded that heavy pre-market. CPHI falling off a cliff here. One of those former runners. This could be a good buy around 0.6. AIM, big move here to the upside, back at $4. Good call, Keith. Yeah, Heiko, that's why I was also myself considering being a little bit more cautious, just because today's is so crazy that a lot of these exchanges sometimes are extremely laggy when the markets are this crazy. When I was trading years ago, I used to never see these platforms get laggy, but I think the amount of people, especially now that commission is free, using them has absolutely skyrocketed. SPEX. This doesn't look very healthy here. Fading volume, big lead gapper. Big buyers though at 414. Doesn't look like they want to let it break. This could be a little bull flag, but again, I'm not going to be trading it. I don't really have a need to kind of trade anything right now. Says you have a $95 profit. That's a really nice profit, Heiko. Basically just made 20%. AM breaking. Yep. AM pulling back a little bit from $4. SPEX trying to break higher here. A lot of selling volume. I think that first dip is going to put a lot of people on edge. If I was a breakout buyer in SPEX, I would be taking a back seat. I'd be like, hold up. That dip was absolute. You don't see a stock dip 40% that much. So I would be super careful buying SPEX. VXRT ripping TNXP as well. VXRT. VXRT was on our aftermarket open scanner. Thanks, Tommy. Although I'm a little bit ashamed that this morning I totally missed the exchange daylight savings time. I was even talking about it this weekend, so it's like it's not that I didn't know about it. So SPEX pulling back here from $4. VXRT kind of ripping. I wonder how far SPEX is going to pull back. Whew, just watching that one makes me like sweaty. VXRT, really, really interesting here. Big support, kind of right under $3, breaking higher now. 3.5 is going to be tremendous resistance. 14% move. I still have not even bothered trying to place an order yet. We're officially at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. CPHI at 0.9, waiting for a reversal. Oof, I don't know. That's a tough one. There's a big reason I typically avoid the sub pennies, the sub dollar stocks, and it's because they trade with massive spreads. Sometimes extremely light volume where you can get those quick dips. I think VXRT could be a good trade. I don't think I would be buying this breakout where it is right now. NNVC, big mover from Friday. I know, dipping heavy. Form that bear flag like we were talking about. This was not a sign that you want to be looking for. Pulled all the way back to 15. That was a 12% dip and just getting halted here. Guys, it is a bloodbath out there. Just be careful. Oh, man. CPHI. Let me quickly pull that one up. CPHI. The best thing to do, Javier, is sometimes look at the daily chart. So here, that's why I said 0.6, big support. I think the bounces off 0.6 are definitely going to be there. 0.56, maybe the low, it will see. Right now, it already had a big bounce. But when something sells off this aggressive, I don't see it coming all the way back just yet. This move could take days if it even ever does. So I'd be a little bit careful. I'd probably sell into a bounce, but it's totally up to you. Who knows? Maybe CPHI is going to hit all-time highs really soon. So it's totally up to you. You got to know what your strategy is for this one. But at 0.6 is definitely big time support. Heard Robinhood is down today. Robinhood is always down. Even when it's up, I find it quite tricky to use. SPEX down 3.7 right now. Look at that bounce back off of 3.5. Any other day, I probably would have done that 3.5% bounce. You guys know how much I like those critical whole and half dollar areas. You guys know how much I look for those double bottoms. You know how much I look for these breakout areas and like to buy the dips on them. But on a day like today, you try to do that over here, and before you know it, you're down 15%. It's very hard to trade days like today because you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if the stock you're holding is just randomly going to get halted. You don't know if the whole market's just going to get halted. It's really insane. Or if TOS is going to have issues. Oh, Plug, PLUG. Is that ticker still alive? We were trading Plug quite some time ago. Or you're just saying pull the power plug. 7%. Yeah, out of all the things moving today, I don't think I would be trading Plug. But who knows? Maybe it has news. Maybe there's something I'm missing on it. I just don't see any catalyst. The bounces are not that crazy. Yeah, ChemDog, I totally agree. I think buying at that 3.5 is good risk reward, for sure. And I'm definitely missing a lot of trades. Like, by not trading, you're also you might not be losing money, but you're also not making any money. So it's definitely not the best. But I might trade today if I see a good solid pattern, especially in the next few minutes here. Maybe at 10:15, when the markets maybe set a little bit, TOS is working again, then I wouldn't mind maybe getting aggressive. But again, getting aggressive in that second half of the morning is where I also make a lot of mistakes. So I kind of miss trading today. Yeah, They probably forgot about daylight savings time, just like me, where I didn't implement that properly. Thing about Plug, it has no news that I've found at least. SPEX, can it break back above 4? That's going to be the big question. AIM was not able to break past $4. AIM has been a really active stock in these last few days. It makes me worry it's a little bit overextended, but let's see what happens here. AIM at 3.2 to $3 could be a really, really good dip buy. Big support at 2.5. I might have to trade that, especially if we pull back from $3. I'm gonna go ahead and create an alert here. I don't necessarily think it's gonna pull back that much though. Yeah, Heiko, I know what you mean. That's happened to me before. That's why last two weeks ago, Thursday and Friday, I had so many similar issues where TOS was just not responsive, missed a lot of trades, and I made a lot of mistakes. So that's why today I'm like, I don't want to do that again. That was a nightmare. I hope everything kind of worked out though. But at least at least you're getting some exposure to the markets. This is probably one of the most tough days to trade though. So don't think this is normal. What do you think about buying airline stocks? Javier is asking. Cruise line stocks. Ooh, I don't know. They do make a nice profit sometimes when the oil prices go down, but usually all that stuff is quite hedged already. So they calculate, what happens if oil prices go up tremendously, right? They're hedged against that, just like they're hedged, so their hedges don't pay off. So they have to just basically pay premiums for those hedges if the oil prices go down. So I don't know how much it's going to affect those companies, but if anything, I think people are traveling a little bit less with the coronavirus, not to mention who wants to go on a cruise ship when everyone has the potential of having corona, right? So you might have a little bit more resistance towards traveling and cruise lines and those kind of things. And especially in a market crash on top. It's kind of like I don't know. I don't think I would be going long just yet on those companies. Oh, Green, what stocks do you suggest I get in right now to make some quick money? I don't know. I don't think I would suggest any. It's a dangerous mindset. I'm waiting for some healthy pullbacks towards bigger support on AIM and SPEX. Might get it, might not. If we don't, it's totally fine. So I'm just kind of watching the markets today. SPEX trying to bounce, trying to break back above 4. You guys love IBIO. That's been one of, I think, the chat room's favorite tickers. $1.9. I haven't been trading it because the market cap is 1.6 billion, and that's typically not part of my gap and go trading strategy. So that's why I've been leaving IBIO basically totally alone. Although, phenomenal trading opportunities, and we have traded it before it was such an expensive stock. SPEX pulling back now. Yeah, Anthony, I think you're totally right. Which is kind of depressing. All weekend, I was like dreaming about Monday. I was like, I want to get a gap and go trade. I want to get a trade just like DRAD that pulled back 6% and then ripped 30%. Like that's what I was, visualizing all weekend. And then the markets went down 7%. So much for visualizing. TNXP. Oh, you guys called that one out before. Sorry, I didn't look at it. TNXP. There's just a lot going on. 53 million market cap, 50 million shares outstanding, $3 million volume, which is really, really light on a day like today. I'd be really careful here. This thing should have probably broke to the upside and it's not moving. It kind of had a pullback here. No news on it, so no catalyst. Could be a big support. $1 oftentimes acts as big support because if stocks go under $1, they get NASDAQ will send them a very nasty letter that they need to increase their stock price, or else they will get delisted. So sometimes they'll make sure that their price does not go under $1. But it's also, you know, pre-graveyard prerequisite, and there's probably going to be a reverse split coming up not too long from now with TNXP if it does not hold and break out this level. I don't know. If I was up, if I bought at $1 on TNXP, I'd probably be closing my position. But I close a lot of my positions way too early, so you got to know what your price target is for these day trades. Unless you're investing, it's different. Tesla. What is Tesla doing today? And I kind of want to look at SpaceX as well. Oh man, my TOS is super slow today. So Tesla had a bit of a gap down. Technically it's green on the day, but I mean, technically it's red on the day, but it's green since the market opened. $600, massive support. Basically bounced 10%. That's a really nice move. Really, really nice move. Honestly, TSLA is trading like a classic small cap. We have a breakout right here. We have a nice descending channel pattern or bull flag, whichever one you want to say. Another one, 15-minute EMA comes in here. This thing is ripping. I think this is also another reason why I don't like trading when the market's so volatile, is because the traders are all over the place. Typically, you know, a day like today, you'll have small cap traders trading something like Tesla, which means the lead gap and go tickers aren't really moving as much as they should be. So volatile days will definitely interrupt our classic trading strategy. SPEX trying to break now about above $4. 278, a lot of buyers. Tesla trying to break higher here. This is a pretty classic small cap pattern. Space is down 7% as well, just like Tesla. Back to $20. Really nice area. I might actually go ahead and enter SPE space pretty soon here. So it pulled all the way down to $17. Absolutely insane. 20% bounce. I love the way space trades. I think this is, again, potentially a dead cat bounce. Let's look at ROKU, huge pullback. Really interesting. It seems like a lot of the stocks kind of hit their bottom pre-market, and ever since then, especially with the large caps, they've been rallying ever since. And NVC back at under $10. That's insane. That was a big support area they had there at $10 and $15. Just a big red day in the markets. Looks like we just bought DRAD in a different account of ours, our RIA account at 4.88. And Heiko, why did I say that? So what you did is selling at market on a stock with a big spread. You really have to watch out because you don't know the price you're going to get filled at. That's why we typically always trade with limit orders, not market orders. Because of that slippage. That's called slippage, what you saw there. We'll get on a call later and go through the whole trade that you made today after the stream. Again, I'd be still very careful. My TOS is loading very, very slow. I'm still having a lot of glitches. I don't think I'm going to trade today. I don't feel it. I don't know. Maybe I'll trade a large cap or something like that, but most likely not. SPEX having a little bit of a pullback here. If SPEX dips under $3, I'd probably go ahead and trade it. Yeah, I've never actually traded using Chase. What platform is it, or is it just like a online platform? I'll be right back, guys. Give me 3 minutes. Woohoo! Yeah, ChemDog, that's a good point. The plays are there, just take lower risk. That's exactly what we did in Thursday and Friday 2 weeks ago. The markets were all over the place, and I was like, you know what? Don't trade breakouts today. It's too risky. But trading big pullbacks was almost a guaranteed profit every time. VXRT is close to breaking previous resistance. Yeah, so we got VXRT on the watch list. We got AIM. Look at that pullback to 2.9. How aggressive was that? I was even thinking about putting a limit order right there at 2.9. That actually would have been a freaking phenomenal ticket. Don't even really know why I didn't. I guess just because I didn't want to trade today. AIM, really good one to watch as well, and SPEX. Just aggressive pullbacks across the board. SPEX looks like it might dip again here. A lot of resistance coming in. It's about 10:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll give this live stream a little bit longer. It's a really interesting day. COCP, Keith calling it out. At $1.68, up 40%, 79 million market cap, 47 million shares outstanding. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it as well. Nice bounce there at 1.4. Whew, serious bounces. SPEX pulling back a little bit. So if you go to TD Ameritrade on their homepage, they even have a site-wide alert. Oil spill, crudes, historic plunge puts new pressure on reeling stock prices. Anytime TOS puts a big alert, they've had the coronavirus alert, I think, for 7 days. Let's look at that DRAD bounce. So this one went all the way down to 79, maybe a little bit lower. Getting that first bounce in here, not really that strong. I'm probably going to close that position on the live stream, but again, we had really big time support in this area, so might go ahead and close that position soon. That's the spirit, Heiko. But watch out, redeeming. Jay, yeah, I use a cash account. That's how I avoid the PTD rule. The only problem with cash accounts is your money is frozen basically for 2 days. That's why I alternate this 6K account between 4 trades. So I trade $1,500 times 2 on, let's say, Monday. And then the next day, Tuesday, I trade $3,000. So I make 2 trades out of that. And then on Wednesday, I get Monday's trades back. And so I alternate my account that way. That's how I avoid the PTD rule. You need a cash account for that. DRAD has very low volume. Want to be careful with this one. This was a lead gapper from the day before. I think we can get another little bounce here. I want to see if we can sell this around 5 point, something like that. 5 point, I don't know, 4 or whatnot. I don't like the fact that this one has just about no volume on it. And you can see here, $2.1 million volume. That's really not a lot. Not to mention, check out this spread. The spread is absolutely wicked, not healthy at all. That's why we don't trade stocks with low liquidity. Using an offshore broker doesn't have anything to do with the fact of living in the States or not. I could also use a offshore broker when I live in the States. I just don't, because I want to take this challenge a little bit more slow. And I think since I'm not that great at the gap and go strategy, I still have a lot to learn. It's only about like my 3rd month on it, or 4th month. I think using leverage and paying high commissions per trade isn't really worth it for me just yet. I think doing another small account challenge, and let's say after we hit the 25K challenge, then I would probably do it. But I don't know. It's hard to say. South Korea got error on HTS. What's HTS? Can I use a card? Smart. SPEX back at 3.8. So 3.5 really held 3 times. That's kind of impressive. DRAD now at 5.33. I think I'm going to go ahead and close that position. I got to think about that just for a little bit longer here. Look at SPEX trying to break back above VWAP. Here we go. Might even do it. 3.9, big resistance. This is the lead gapper on the day. A lot of traders are going to be having this one on their radar. 3.95, getting chipped away a little bit. Here we go. Looks like it's about to go over $4. Boom, what a breakout. Absolutely insane. 411, 415. Really nice move from 3.5. So that 3.5 area, just buying all those dips back to 3.5 would have been the ticket. Could have easily just not worked out though today too. So I'm fine not doing that. Look at IGOV. SPEX looks really good. Is that the right ticker? IGOV? I don't see what you're looking at. They have some sort of reverse split. I don't know. I wouldn't even pay attention to this company. This company has $700,000 in volume. Probably just a massive spread. Who knows what happened there? I'm going to go ahead and remove that from our watch list. LPTH. INO running again. That INO bounce off 15 bucks was quite impressive. Back above VWAP 20%. This would have been a really, really good dip buy, I think, INO. The old problem was it got halted. It would have been tricky. Man, just the way things are trading today is really what I usually typically avoid at all costs. So I don't feel bad that I missed setups. Thermal lenses. A lot of news about LPTH. Yeah, interesting call for sure. $52%, really good move here, right above VWAP, broke out with big volume. I think LPTH is actually a really interesting trade. We've been watching it for quite some time. 1.5 was big time resistance, kind of consolidated under it and finally breaking out today. This could be a big move. I'd say the next resistance point is really that $2 area. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. The XRT has been a really interesting one today. It's right at 3.2, up 25%. I'm gonna go ahead and close this DRAD position. I just don't want to be thinking about it. We're up 100 bucks on this position, not really too bad. Just gonna go ahead and close it out. 250 Roth IRA. Okay, we are out on this trade. Nice little 100-buck profit on it. Big support right under $5. Daily support. That's why we entered this trade. I don't know if I got out too early. I probably did, but what I'm trying to do on the IRA account, I have a whole video about this account, is I'm just looking for those first bounces off of big support, and that's why I entered this trade as we pulled back to 4.8. So pretty happy with this little trade. Again, I probably did get out too early. This thing could really bounce. Who knows? It could even touch $6 again. But my trading strategy with this account is just very quickly taking profits, and we made about 10% on this trade. So that's all I can ask for. Let's go back to our other account. Markets are not pulling back much more, so that is a good sign potentially. Who knows though what's going to happen in the afternoon trading session? I think just around lunchtime, things really consolidate a little bit. SPEX, this is a really, I would say quite bearish little pattern it has going on here. It was not able to break above $4. It did have nice volume on the way up. But that second part of the morning when the VWAP breakout is not strong and a little bit delayed, I'd be a little careful with that. I would still probably trade SPEX if it came around $3, maybe even broke $3 ideally. Maybe saw like some support at 270 or something like that. I don't know if it's going to happen. And even if it does happen, I don't know when. We probably won't be online anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and create an alert for that just to kind of see if it happens below. AIM curling 3.7. VXRT now at 28%. It was just at 25% last time we were talking about it. Nice little bounce off of here. This could break out. If it breaks past 3.5, I think VXRT could really see some new highs. It needs a little bit of volume. $25 million volume on the day so far. Okay. Shares outstanding, 51 million. Fairly high number. Not to mention, VXRT has had many big green days too. 3.35 getting chipped away. A lot of sellers in that area though. Whew, I don't know. I'd be pretty nervous. $3.37 getting chipped away. AIM, nice little pull back here. 3.8. A lot of really nice support bounces. I think VXRT buying this pullback here, I'm a little disappointed I missed this one. Out of all the pullbacks, I think this was the nicest. I do like the red to green move as well. This would have probably been the play. VXRT is a little bit slower of an overall mover though, and that's because the float. You know, you would think a move like this is 30 to 50%, but it's only 17% with VXRT. So percentage-wise, it's not the biggest mover. Interesting setup here though. Yeah, this was a serious Monday, huh? I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I think tomorrow's trading session is going to be mad interesting. And I'll start the live stream on time as well. I can't believe that happened. I knew that there was a chance that that was going to happen. So ridiculous. That's the problem with a one-man show. There's sometimes a little too much to think about. DRAD, did you guys just see that? It's now back below $5. So good thing we just took our 10% profit and moved on. Yeah, there was a potential for much more upside, but I just saw risk and I got the trade I wanted. So DRAD, we got out of that trade. Now it's back basically close to our entry point. So again, that's why you want to be quick on those bounce trades. Yeah, it's just an absolute wicked day. And this is a kind of fun little pullback it just had here. Instant 3% bounce. I would not be trying to scalp though 3% bounces on a day like today. I'd be looking for those really big pullbacks like we saw with VXRT. That was a really nice pullback. And then VC back in the $10 area. So this one came back a little bit, saw some big support, and whoop, that was a crazy amount of updates. That was a 10% move, really nice. COCP also had a bit of a support move today. Really nice bounces overall. VXRT trying to break that 3.4 level. Look at that quick pullback it had here. 5% could have been maybe made. I just don't really see a nice risk reward on a stock like XRT when it's moving so slowly. Check Citron announcements. What ticker is that? SPEX kind of consolidating in this area. Wow, I feel like we've been in an SPEX trade many times, this exact setup here. Start. I hope it's ready to go into the sky. I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it had a little pullback here first, because we were in a trade just like this. We bought the VWAP breakout, then it consolidated, and then it pulled back one more time before it ripped to the upside. But let's see what happens here. It's really gaining some momentum at 395. 395 could be breaking out. Nope, was rejected. A lot of sellers just popped in. I'd be weary. I'd be very weary. CTNI. I think this is Citron announcements. No, I don't know. A lot of consolidating happening in the markets right now. My VWAP is the purple line. The yellow is the lower end of VWAP, and the red is the high end of VWAP. The blue, light blue, is my 15-minute exponential moving average. Oh God, Heiko's. We've all been there, Heiko. Let's just say that. I'm gonna look up INO. Let me see what you're talking about. I'd be really careful here with SPEX, guys. It's kind of consolidating under $4, which is a big resistance area. Anytime I see a stock consolidate under former support, I really don't like that. Not to mention the volume is really selling off here. There's going to be a big breakout here. It might be to the upside, but I see a bit more. I don't see a good risk reward trade. I think big support here at 3.5 and then again at $3. But, you know, upside, big resistance here at 4 maybe 8 or something like that. So I don't know. I think at best, it's tough to say. Maybe a 1 to 1.5 risk reward, but honestly, to me, it's more of a 1 to 1. I don't know. It's a tricky trade. If 385 cracks, I'd be extra careful. I would have my sell order right there ready to go. 385, some selling momentum picking up here. Yep, I know. I know did have some PR today, but it's more, I don't know, it's not really specific to the company. Nothing new. It's all rehashed news. Dude, honestly, if I had a margin account, I'd probably be shorting INO, especially when it was at 20. I don't know. I don't short, but so who am I to say I would short? But I see this thing was at a dollar like 50 not too long ago, and now it's at 20 bucks. There's definitely a good chance it's extremely overextended. SPEX is a tricky one to trade. I would have been faked out on this one so many times. SPEX. This is typically why I want to wrap up my trading by 10:30. Getting close to 11 o'clock, you're dealing with a market with much less volume. You don't get those big moves anymore. You start trading really aggressive when you should have been trading aggressive in the first 15 minutes, which just really wasn't that possible today because we had so many TOS issues and then the market halted for 15 minutes. So that's a big reason I didn't trade today, and also a big reason why I don't feel like getting aggressive with SPEX right now is really the answer. I miss a lot of moves though, so being too conservative is also not always the answer. But for me, getting aggressive really in the first 15 to 30 minutes of the market open is the time to get aggressive, and not usually at around 11 o'clock. Bradley, did I study with Ross Cameron? I didn't buy his course or anything, but I do watch a lot of his YouTube videos. I think Ross Cameron is an absolute legend, and I'm actually really, really looking forward to seeing his trading recap today. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Awesome stuff he does. SPEX, what? Trying to break out higher here. Oh my God, there's a huge amount of sellers at 3.9, but if it gets chipped away, this thing could absolutely rip. I mean, think about it. Lead gapper still on the day. Big dollar volume, over 100 million, 19 million market cap, 5 million shares outstanding. I still won't be trading it. I still find way too much risk in it, but I do. It is the reason I'm watching it out of all the other stocks. I find it the most interesting. I find it, it has the most potential, but I see so much risk in this one as well. So their news, again, actually, I don't know if I said this today. So they had an option executed for technology and patent for methods to treat the coronavirus infection. I'm not totally sure what an option executed for technology means. SPEX breaking out of $4. Some nice volume picking up in there again. So after the biotech company said it executed an exclusive option agreement with the University of Maryland, Baltimore for the technology and the patent for methods of treating coronavirus infection. So they had an option to go into the agreement and then they exercised it today. That's interesting. I'm going to watch SPEX for a little bit longer here. This is really kind of interesting to watch how it's playing out. I think it would have been really tough for me to trade SPEX, and I'm happy I left it alone. It's a little bit choppy. I think the only clean thing that happened on SPEX today was this quick pullback back to the breakout of 412. And then, you know, that rip to $5. That's a 30% move. After that, this thing was, I think, extremely tough to trade. I mean, that pullback here was so aggressive, 40% dip. Ay, ay, ay. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was a fake out. On a 5-minute setup, it's kind of interesting. I mean, we have the 15-minute EMA acting as tremendous support here. We broke back above $4 with volume, but you know, it's 9:52. I mean, 10:52. It's almost 11 o'clock. Really not a good time to be trading breakouts. I don't know. This thing could rip, but it's gonna rip without me. That's nice trade, Kationer. I'm happy you slayed that beast. 3.6. That was a phenomenal entry. Good work there. Yeah, we'll have to review later today. We'll get on a call. Nice shark, Green Day. SPEX long term is a pretty rough looking chart as well. A lot of reverse splits. This thing has basically just been selling off since the beginning of time. A lot of the spikes don't hold. We have one spike over here that was a 2-day runner, 3 days, you could almost argue. But all the other ones are pretty quick pullbacks. Here's a 2-day runner. Well, stocks typically have somewhat of a muscle memory, because traders will look back and see, you know, how does this stock react when it breaks out, and if they see a lot of pullbacks, they'll be maybe a little bit less aggressive. $4.15. Wow, this thing is breaking out. That's insane. Still happy I didn't trade it. I would have been more upset taking a loss than I would have been happy making profits on this one, especially now that it's getting close to 11 o'clock. Oof, that was aggressive pullback just now. This might be a failed breakout here. Whew. Oh man. A lot of buyers coming in though. That was a big buying volume candle, but it pulled back so aggressively. Yeah, Bradley, shoot it over to my email if it's anything that's free or whatever, and I can look at it. It's always interesting. I read his book. It's a good read. It's much more insightful and specific to trading than Tim Sykes' book, which is which is helpful if you actually want to learn a strategy. Tomorrow when stuff's coded off, but almost end of the day. Shark. Yeah, you're up green. You got to keep it green. Yeah, when that happened, that was absolutely ridiculous on SPEX. Yeah, I'd be really careful. I'd be really, really careful. This is one of those stocks where you can get on the wrong side of the trade really easily, and I feel like it trades very slowly, and it's tricky. It's just a tricky stock to trade. It's a really risky day when I'm down 77 bucks. At least it's not a big loss, Mo. Not too bad. Something you could really easily recover from. Honestly, it looks like SPEX is primed for a big breakout here at 4.2. Also a really nice 5-minute setup. We have a 5-minute breakout and then a nice little pullback here. Really, really interesting ticker. Markets are all kind of sinking again. SPX back at 6.3%. 4.25, breaking out. Boom! That was it. That was the break. 10% so far from that 4 low. Yeah, and in theory, we're all competing here, but no harm done, Shark. I'm so happy I didn't trade SPEX somehow. Like, somehow I know that I would have been on the wrong side of this trade. It is moving up nicely. I'm going to be really interested to see what SPEX looks like tomorrow morning. And even by the time we do the recap video, I think SPEX is going to be just generally in a whole different place than it is now, either to the upside or downside. But it seems like it found really big support at 3.5. So now the next thing it has to do is retest that $5 area. Can it break past 5? But we'll see. We'll see. I see so much risk in SPEX, but there's also big reward where there's big risk. So well, I hope today was a profitable day for some of you guys. I hope you also were able to manage some risk. I know Heiko was able to learn a few things. It was good fun to watch his messages. SPEX looks like it's positioned for a potential big breakout here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up my trading though. It's 11 o'clock. I don't want to be trading after 11 unless there's an extremely good setup. So if you guys see me in the recap video talking about a trade I did, you better get mad at me unless it's a perfect setup. But I think that's everything for me today. I'm going to wrap up the trading here. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Today was a historic day. I'm going to look at a bit more in the stats for the recap video so we can see what kind of real moves happened today, just for reference. Other than that, that's everything for me. Again, I apologize for tuning in a little bit late. Tomorrow we'll get it on time, even though Europe is about to switch its daylight savings times too. I wish they were on the same day, but they're not. All right, guys, make some safe trades. I will see you then tomorrow first thing, and I'll see you for the recap video. Like always, guys, stay safe, make some awesome trades. I'll see you tomorrow then. Till next time. Ciao, ciao.